Can you hear that? Of course you can't. Yep, it was a vacuum line leak, people. I got it fixed, and the Wayback Back in the Day machine is purring like a kitten, running quietly like a church mouse. Now, before we start, a quick shout-out to another good sub I ran into yesterday at the Bottom Feeder Pit. By the way, Murray was there, doing what he does best, suffering, complaining, and mooching drinks. Anyway, no names, people. I'll just call her, what could I call her? I'll just call her Lori, a local agricultural entrepreneur very near Willow City, USA, that I purchase all my eggs from, locally raised, farm-fresh eggs. Now, why would any of you buy those pale yellow yolked commercial eggs produced by Stress Hens when you have an opportunity to buy and support your local neighbors? What the F is wrong with you people? So shout out to you, Lori, also known as Pearl. For all you do, this bud's for you. Now, we're heading back to June 24th, 1968, and I'm going to tell you about the greatest bank robbery that affected every American. It was seriously underreported, and even today, few know about it. Are you guys ready to learn more? Well, then stay with me, people, because I'm just getting started on Friday, the 15th of July, 2022. Before I can explain June 24th, 1968, we have to briefly discuss the Coinage Act of 1965, an act by Congress. Quick question. If progress means to move forward, what the F does Congress mean? Just asking. So, back in the day, your flexible, fluid, and most humble messenger was 10 years old, and I was in 3rd or 4th grade, can't remember which one, at Earl Brown Elementary School, Brooklyn Center, suburb of Murderopolis, Minnesota. Oh yeah, one of those 10th plank of the Communist Manifesto government schools, and our local propaganda weekly sheet, the Weekly Reader. Anyone remember those? Had been handed out in class. And right on the front page was one of the coolest stories I and my classmates ever saw. The U.S. Mint was coining the new, silverless, copper-nickel slug called the sandwich coin. And everyone, including our teacher, wanted one. It was being coined in dollar, halves, quarters, and dimes. It wasn't long after the Weekly Reader article came out, and our school was flooded with the new slugs. Thank God, we thought. Those boring junk silver coins. They were called junk silver, people, because they only contained 90% silver, 10% base metal. Silver, you know, a rare and valuable metal. Yep, the boring silver coins were being replaced with the cool slugs. You could see the copper wafer covered in nickel by looking at the new slug sideways. Oh, I remember it well. I was so excited. I was willing to trade 2 silver quarters for 1 new copper-nickel slug quarter. Now see, people, you have to go to school to get that fucking stupid, where you want a base cheap metal slug over a coin with 90% silver. Moving on. So after the Coinage Act of 1965 became the law, the ignorant people didn't catch this sleight-of-hand magic trick. The corrupt media never told us. No, we were watching the TV war nightly. Yep, the Vietnam War. Talked about it yesterday. Well, guess what? Congress wasn't finished messing with us yet. On June 24th, 1967, they passed another public law which discontinued the redemption of silver certificates in silver coinage. Yep, junk silver. But Congress gave this law a 1-year grace period to implement. So, 1-year grace period from June 24th, 1967, do the math, people, drum roll, lands us on June 24th, 1968. Now, inquiring minds want to know what happened June 24th, 1968. Congress authorized men in suits carrying briefcases rather than firearms to remove the last known commodity, a real thing, silver in coin form, from every American's bank account, regardless of where you lived. Truly, America's greatest bank robbery took place on that date, June 24th, 1968, and few knew about it then, or even know about it now. So, why the 1-year grace period? I can only speculate, but you guys know how I think, or you should by now, and you know how I see the world from the wall. Which wall? This wall. God damn it, pay attention. It is my humble opinion that the phone started ringing on June 25th, 1967, to the members of the big club, yeah, the one we ain't in. Yep, I'll bet the phones were lighting up like a shithouse in a Christmas storm all over, letting everybody that somebody know. We got 1 year, boys and girls, to corner the silver market. Get off your fat asses and redeem those notes, paper that they are, for junk silver. Besides, 90% of silver is way better than 100% of copper, or 100% of nickel, or 100% of paper. Now let me ask you this. If you got tomorrow's Wall Street Journal today, could you make money in the stock market? Absolutely. Well, that is unless you're a room temp plus 7 bottom feeder dweller. It's called insider trading, people. A select few knows what's going on. The vast majority of us are clueless. Go online today and check out the number of coin dealers that will sell you junk silver, pre-1965 U.S. coins. They'll sell you bags full. Now, where do they get all this silver? Where's mine? Where's yours? But if you want to buy junk silver, let's say you only want to buy 4 quarters, you aren't getting them for $1. Nope. Try $20 or more, and you don't get the spot price, which is $18.29 as of today. Can you see the magic, people? Can you see it happening? So, the American sheeple were fleeced, robbed, and their bank accounts that once held wealth, silver and coin form, were now merely bookkeeping entries. Numbers, people, Masonic symbols. And to give this illusion, this scam, a feel of reality, the Fed issued counterfeit notes, Fed Reserve notes, cash money as you've been trained to call it. And why do I call them counterfeit? Because they are very clever counterfeit of notes that once upon a time could be redeemed for lawful money, silver and coin form. Federal Reserve notes are, 1, they're not federal, no private banksters. 2, there are no reserves. It's an all numbers game. How do you reserve numbers? How do you store them up? Where do you store numbers? 3, they fail as notes by the legal definition of what a note is. And don't forget the copper nickel slugs. They throw them in there to help you out. The 1965 to the present sandwich coins. What happened on June 24, 1968 was that the final nail in the coffin was driven home. The coffin that contained the old America. The America you will never see again. Nope. Kiss it goodbye. Now notice, I never mentioned gold coins, and gold and silver coins were once the coin of the realm, the money of a county in the United States. Now, how come I haven't mentioned gold coins in any of this? Because Franklin Delano Roosevelt administration stole those from our parents and grandparents back in 1935. You can't make this shit up. By an emergency executive order, they not only stole the gold, they further made it illegal for Americans to own gold. Of course, there was always exceptions to the rule, rules for thee but not for me. Jewelers were exempt. Of course they were. Under severe criminal penalties, Americans were forced to surrender their gold and weren't given a very long time to do it. Now, you see why I called June 24th, 1968 the final nail? Hey, and here's a fun fact. As a side note, who was Franklin Delano Roosevelt's Secretary of the Treasury back then? Oh, son of a bitch, Henry Morgenthau Jr. And who was FDR's most closest, most trusted senior advisor? Well, son of a bitch, Bernard Baruch. And who were they? Check Mary's family tree chart, people. You'll find them. Ah, come on, Dave. What a lengthy bunch of useless bullshit. So what? Big effing what? I'm going to town today to get groceries, and I'm going to fill my tank. Yeah, it's a little more expensive, but whatever I got in my pockets, the cash money as you call it, will give me everything I want. So what? Whoop-dee-doo. Oh, you guys really have me at a disadvantage because of the limited time restraints you put on my podcast because of your very short attention spans. So what you say? I'll tell you what. The purpose of any scam is to fuck somebody out of something, is it not? Get the KY jelly out, people, and bend over. Because tomorrow I'm going to tell you how bad you have been effed how bad you are being effed, and how much more so you will be effed very hard. In the meantime, I got stuff to do.